What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Element Podcast. My name is Askia, and on today's episode, I have a really good friend of mine. He's actually an old coworker at a previous job with me, and we remain friends as we still get coffee and chop it up every now and then. And so at the last coffee we had, I wanted him to come up on the podcast and spit some gems and share his story. It's such an interesting story. Abou is actually from Mauritania, Africa, and in this episode, we actually get into a lot of the similarities between some of the sociological aspects of Mauritania, the country he's from, and the U.S. And then we talk about his journey and some of the things he had to overcome and get through, and some of the benefits of actually moving to another country, the development that comes as a person. So I'm really excited for you guys to get into this one. So with that, sit back, relax, and enjoy Abou in his element. Yeah, unreal, bro. But let's get into it. You ready?
Let's do it.
As ready as we'll ever be. All right, cool beans. So welcome everybody to the Element Podcast. My name is Askia. I'm super glad that you're here. Today I have a super awesome guest. I'll let him introduce himself.
All right. Well, my name is Abou Toure. I've known Askia for, it's been a few years now.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, just excited to be here.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming through, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, when I think about people who sort of have like a special place in my heart, I know that like I can go to you for certain things, which is really awesome. There's moments that I really appreciate. I don't think I've ever told you this, but moments that I appreciate, whenever you hit me up and we go grab our coffee and stuff. And so, when I'm starting this up, I'm creating my list of people that I want on and that I want to have a good conversation with. And so you're one of them, bro. You're one of them, man.
Awesome, man. I'm excited. I'm glad to be here. And I'm actually very happy that, I made it to your list.
Right. 100%.
But yeah, same, man. Same. I only have great things to say about you.
For sure. Yeah, man.
You're a good person, Askia.
Hey, thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man. So let's go ahead and take the people to the beginning. So give them your background, where you're from. What are you up to these days?
Oh, that's going to take more than an hour.
Right. That's a movie, bro.
And let's do it. I mean, I'm sure, as you can guess from my accent, that I did not grow up here in the U.S. So I was born and raised in Mauritania, which is in West Africa. I moved here when I was 20. I turned 22 here because I moved here a couple months before my birthday.
Before your 22nd birthday?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I was just 21.
Yeah.
Came here for school, coming from a very humble background, mom and dad, no formal education, but they put all the kids through school,
How many is all the...
Total of 8 kids.
Woo!
So I have 7 siblings. We were a total of 6 boys. So imagine growing up in a household with 6 boys, man. It was fun, actually.
I'm sure.
It was a lot of fun. Like my older brother, the one that is just right above me, we're like best friends to this day, I'll say. We always play together. We always exchange our clothes, if he gets he's a bit bigger than me, but as I'm aging, as I'm growing, I always have someone to look up to and someone to watch out for me. We all grew up in the same group of friends, so we basically have the same friends. So family of 8. Did all my primary schooling and high school there back in Mauritania. Before moving to the States. And I moved here for college, like I said. Mauritania is not an English-speaking country.
Right.
So when I first got here, I had to go through ESL, which is English as a second language. So I did like 6 months of that before transferring to university.
Was it difficult, like picking it up?
I mean, it was, but once you get in the environment where people speak the language, it is so quick.
Yeah.
Because, even though I didn't grow up speaking English, and I only took 2 years of intensive English learning when I was back home.
Okay.
But as soon as I got here, I knew the basics. And after 6 months of intensive English, in an English-speaking environment, I was ready to be in a junior level classroom
Interesting.
at an American university.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. What did you study? Or where'd you go and what did you study?
So for the ESL, I studied it in at UC Davis in California.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I
dope.
did. So I was there for 6 months. I loved it. Small town,
Yeah.
college town, nice people.
Yep.
That was my first exposure to American culture.
University, right?
Yeah, university and American culture.
Yeah.
And just, America in general.
Mm-hmm.
And so after 6 months of being at UC Davis, I went to NAU, so Northern Arizona University, to complete my degree. So I had done 2 years back home, so I came as a transfer.
Okay.
And then I was able to finish in 2 years to get my bachelor's degree.
Nice, man.
So the goal was to become an English teacher at first.
That's
so
crazy.
Then I studied English.
Bro, that's unreal.
But then, in my junior year, I took a class of sociology. I fell in love with the subject.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I want to study sociology instead.
Right.
So I decided to minor in sociology, and then after graduating my undergrad, I went straight to do a master's in sociology at NAU.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. Did you, as you were going through your sociology classes, how were you interpreting like your journey from Mauritania to the U.S. through a sociological lens? Were you like making comparisons?
Yeah, I mean I think that's probably why I majored in sociology. It was eye-opening, and suddenly I have words to describe my lived experience.
Right.
Everything I've seen back home, everything that I've experienced back home, and things also that I've seen here and experienced here. I was doing comparisons. I was thinking back and forth how things are done back home and how they're done here, and learning more also about the history and how, even though we're like walls apart, how there's a lot of similarities in the histories and also in the lived experiences of the people.
Yeah. Do you recall some of those similarities?
So let's quickly, just something off the top of my head, maybe race relations. Back home, Mauritania is a multiracial country. We have Black Africans, so Afro-Mauritanians, but also we have Arab Mauritanians. And then comparing the race relations between the Afro-Mauritanians and Arab Mauritanians and the white Americans and the Black Americans or minorities in general, Same experience of slavery, same experience of fighting for civil rights, same experience of dealing with discrimination and so on. There was a lot of similarities, even in the way people are fighting, let's say, discrimination. Off the top of my head, I can see people like, oh, this guy reminds me of Malcolm X. Oh, this guy reminds me of MLK,
Interesting. The spirit
kind
of resonates.
The spirit, the way they combat, the strategies that they're using in their fight. So it's very comparable.
Yeah.
And also we have a group of Mauritanians are predominantly the people who've experienced slavery in the past. And they remind me a lot, their struggles and their experiences also remind me a lot of the experiences of African Americans here in the U.S. Even in the cultural side, there's a lot of things that I see them do that are like, oh, okay, that reminds me a lot of what I also see here, the music, the artistic talent, the fight for freedom, the fight for equal rights, and so on. So there's a lot of similarities.
That's kind of wild, man.
Yeah.
That is crazy. And I'm sure it's like blowing your mind as you're going to school and you're like learning these things, right? You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm sure it's like another side of America that doesn't oftentimes get presented, right, across the sea.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people, on the other side of the ocean that do not really know the history of Black people in the U.S. It's just not taught in the schools. But also you got to think about, literacy rates, the West, people have such a higher literacy rate. Even if you're not taught about it in school, you're able to go search the information on your own. But if you're dealing with a society where there's such a low literacy rate, about 50 or so percent, then the access to information is much more limited compared to here.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. What was your childhood like? What were the aspects of your childhood that pushed you to want to study in the U.S.?
Yeah, I've had a very happy childhood, I'll say. Parents were great,
Yeah.
Definitely very grateful to, having been born in that family, in that society. And, everything you go through life is, you either let it defeat you or you learn from it,
Right.
So, yeah, like I said, it was a very good childhood. Family was great. Socioeconomically, it wasn't that great.
Sure.
But that also, like I said, teaches you that, okay, I know what this is. I know what this feels like. I know this is not what I want. So I'm going to strive to do more or
Push
do
forward.
better, push forward.
Yeah.
Like they say, if you start from the bottom, there's only one way.
There's only one way up, bro. I love that, man. That's so huge, bro.
Yeah.
And that's such a big lesson because, I kind of look around and I think I oftentimes see a lot of people not take advantage of the things that are around them, right? Because, America, we've been so blessed. Like this is maybe just me being able to say this, but like it seems as though there's been so much excess in our country that it oftentimes seems that people miss that point, that grind, that hustle of being able to want to pursue a better life. It's like, oh, this is kind of here. This is all we know. We haven't been struck by war until as of late, I guess, right? So we kind of have that benefit of, couple generations being able to do that. And so I think having that point of hey, you need to go chase a better life is something that is really, really, really cool to see in general, especially from someone not from here. Do you resonate with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think, the U.S., as we all know, it's one of the wealthiest countries in the world.
Right.
So the opportunities here are immense. I don't want to discount the obstacles or the experiences of other people.
Of course.
But sometimes you have to be like a fish out of water to realize what you have. And not everybody has the chance to have that kind of out-of-body experience and see, this is how hard it is in this part of the world.
Right.
Maybe I should be grateful for what I have.
Exactly.
Maybe, like you said, I should grind more. Maybe I should, try better.
Right.
People get comfortable and complacent in any type of setting. It's just good to be reminded or have a reminder from time to time that you should be grateful for what you have.
Totally.
And strive to do better or be better.
Exactly, man. So is it only you of your family that's over here?
It's just me. So out of the 8 siblings, out of the 8 kids, I should say, 2 of us are outside of the country. I'm here, of course, and then my brother that I was telling you was also my best friend growing up is also out of the country.
Okay.
But everybody else is still back home.
It's back. Have you made it back?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a minute, yeah. But I miss them every day, of course.
Of course. One of the projects you were telling me about was potentially helping with some real estate back home.
Yeah, as you rise up, it's also, I'm sure you've heard of the black tax. That's universal.
Yeah, 100%.
African communities around the world have to deal with that.
Exactly.
As you rise up, as you do better, it also falls on you to help the people who are, who are there with you, who are also part of the family.
Right.
So yeah, the goal is just, as I'm doing better for myself, also be able to help those that are still there in some way.
Yeah, that's a blessing, man. That's a blessing. So what are you up to these days?
working, man.
Yeah.
You know, like one thing that comes with the living in a society like this is like bills.
All
You
the
gotta-
time.
You gotta pay bills, man.
Just breathing down your neck, bro.
Oh, man. I always
All the
tell
time.
my friends, you know, this system is set up in a way that everything you earn sometimes stays here,
Yeah.
because you know, somebody who makes 100 grand and somebody who makes $500,000, sometimes at the end of the day, they if you look at their savings account, it's pretty
It's
similar.
similar, bro, which is mind blowing.
It
It's
is.
literally 5 times the amount of money, but it's the same.
It's the same, because the more money you make, the more you make lifestyle changes, and then the
Yeah.
more bills
Exactly.
you have to pay. You know, it's
Exactly. It is crazy. Like, everybody's getting marketed differently for higher quality products as you continue to scale. So it's like the proportion is staying the same.
the same.
Yeah,
It's
which is absolutely unreal.
yeah, that's just the way capitalism is set up, man.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the only way the system would work, if people
Yeah.
spend more money. You know.
exactly.
But yeah, working, as you know, I'm at ASU, working with a program,
How's that
a
been?
grant program with the Teachers College at ASU, and it's been great, working with Africans. What more can I ask for? Not only just any regular Africans, but like very bright young Africans coming to the US to do their degrees. Very motivated group of people, so it's working with them has been easy,
Yeah,
because I'm just there to give them the extra push,
Yeah, exactly.
to guide them.
yeah.
But they're the ones
Right.
doing the work.
Do they ever push you? Or you
Not-
look at
not
them and you're
really.
like, dang, I need to
No.
like,
Like sometimes
Yeah.
it's just a matter of having more experience, I think.
Right.
I'm older than most of them. I've been through the system. I know more in terms of how this society works. So that helps me help them through their journeys.
Okay.
Like I said, they're very bright, they all of achievers. So they rarely push back, or they don't ever push back. But if they do, it's, maybe it's just a matter of having a discussion and seeing,
Right.
what can we do to
course.
get through that obstacle or whatever it is that they're facing.
So you've been there for about just over a year, yeah?
It's been over a year. I think it's been a year and 3-4 months now.
Okay.
Yeah, time flies, man.
That's crazy. That is wild, because I know we were working. When did I come on, bro? Was it like December 19?
Somewhere
When we was
around there,
working
like
together?
November, December.
Which is wild, man. And the way time flies, bro. It's like, because I was there for a year and a half. Or like a year and like 4 months.
Yeah,
or
because you
so.
were still there when I left.
Yeah, exactly. Which is crazy, but it goes to show that like things fly by. And so, like, have you been able to see the students that you help enter the program actually develop over the course of the year and a half, and see them like get comfortable in the States and like be able to navigate it better?
Oh yeah, it's amazing, man.
Yeah.
You give a person like just a few weeks in a new environment,
Yeah,
you'd be amazed by how quickly they can adapt.
it's crazy.
So far, yeah, everyone's doing really great.
I admire that, bro, because I've been here in Phoenix my whole life. Like, I haven't lived anywhere else. I'm like I've traveled quite a bit, but I haven't actually set up base somewhere else. And so, yeah, dude, I admire that. That's fascinating. That takes like a special set of skills for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I say that if you can do it, it will help you a lot in the long term, because you can be dropped anywhere,
Right.
and you'll fit in perfectly.
Yeah. What kind of things do you think you need to be able to adapt to something like that?
Just being flexible, I think. Not taking anything and everything too personally.
Right.
Knowing that everything is temporary.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of helps you, develop a certain type of mindset where you're able to be patient and know that everything is transitory. It's not permanent. Yeah, like back home we have a saying that goes like, if you can't take the smoke,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you shouldn't be uh, making charcoal, because it takes a lot of
Yeah.
smoke
To make it.
to make it. I
Yeah.
think something similar would be like if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen
Yep,
here.
exactly.
So yeah, it's just a matter of being able. It's just a matter of having patience, and knowing that everything is temporary.
Yeah, definitely, man. So I also find that you play soccer a lot.
Yeah,
Tell
actually.
me about that. Where does that come from? Is that
right
like
after-
childhood?
Funny enough, if you ask my brother, he said like, "Hey, this guy couldn't play." Couldn't play when he was younger.
Right.
Actually, I played when I was younger, but my brothers are like just so much better than me. Probably because while they were playing, I was studying.
Right. Like, I'm getting out of here, y'all.
Right, I'm getting out of here.
I'm getting out of here. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Y'all keep playing, but
I love it, bro. I love it.
So after I made it,
yeah, exactly.
now I can play.
Now I can go out and play, dude. I love that, man.
So yeah,
I'm sure it's not like every week just being able to like go out and stretch, get the legs warmed up.
I mean that's the only way. Like for me, that's the only way I would run.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy running just for the sake of exercise.
It's trash.
But if you put a ball in front of me, then I'll run. So for me, it's just at my age, I'm never gonna become a professional football player. So it's just a matter of getting exercise, and that's one of the ways that I've found that works well for me to get exercise.
That's huge, man.
Yeah.
Is that being able to adapt and knowing like what works for you?
Exactly, being able to adapt, knowing yourself.
Yeah.
Because I can make all the commitments I want. Like
Right.
you, I'll be like, I'll get up at 6 or 5 a.m. to go to the gym.
Right.
I know that
Really?
I'm not gonna be able to do that. But Askia knows that if he says he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it. So for me, knowing that that's not gonna work for me, but I know that maybe twice a week I can go kick a ball.
Yeah.
Run for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And get my exercise that way.
You get that having that self-awareness kind of helps inform.
Yeah, it's good to know who you are, because otherwise you'll be making all kind of promises you can't keep.
You can't keep, man. And then that's hell, because then everybody's like, "What are you doing, bro?"
That's when you start like disappointing people, because
right, literally.
Yeah, because when you know yourself, at least like, all right, I know I'm never gonna engage myself in this and that and that.
Right.
But,
right. And carve your lane.
Yeah, you carve your
lane.
Start carving yourself. And it's okay to be adventurous from time to time.
Right.
But, it's good to do it with the knowledge of like, okay, this is my limit. This I know I can't do.
Exactly. You know who I think is the best at doing that?
Ooh.
Looking from the outside, like the outside looking in, is Steve.
Oh, it's
100%.
Yeah.
Like I know exactly what he's about. On his social media, it's the same consistency over and over again, and like his lane it's just dope. It's cool to watch. It's cool
great
to
guy
see.
for sure.
Amazing.
Great guy, and always consistent, like you said.
Yeah.
Any time of the day you see Steve, you know what you're gonna get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I aspire to be like that.
Definitely.
Like people know what they're getting,
and
it's huge.
I aspire to be like a Steve,
Yeah.
where everybody respects you, everybody, you can tell that everybody loves you and respects you. So yeah.
Yeah, and dependable, being dependable.
For sure, dependable. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge, man. What's something like super random or recent, like super random and recent that you've sort of not obsessed over, but something you found like fascination with? As random as like a song that you keep repeating, or like something that you saw on social media or something. What's like something that you're sort of
what I've been like obsessed with lately?
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about vlogging.
Dude, that's
Even
what
though
I'm saying,
I've got
bro.
like,
Let's go, bro. That would be awesome, man.
even though like I got
Dog.
no experience handling a camera or
Yeah.
anything, sometimes I'm like, all right, you know,
Sure.
it'd be cool just to, you know, share my experience with the rest of the people that I knew back home.
Yeah.
It'd be good to be like the outsider looking in, giving perspective even to those who are here, from here, grew up here.
Yeah.
Or even just travel blogging, you know. I love to do road trips and stuff.
Right.
I love to discover new places. You know, it'd be cool to document that in some way.
Like picking up a camera.
Picking a camera.
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot
Camera,
about
little
it.
tripod.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been thinking a lot about it.
Start learning how to edit a little bit.
Yeah.
Piece it together.
One of the things I do a lot is
Mom trying to bang on the door.
trying to get you to come to dinner or something.
Exactly.
Like, hey,
Exactly.
You've cooked your favorite meal.
Exactly. Come home.
You gotta savor those moments, man.
Right.
I can't
Oh,
tell you when was the
100%.
last time I had my
Right.
mom's cooked
Home
meals.
cooked dinner. Yeah, man. Dude,
Yeah.
I love those moments. I love moms, and you know, like same with you. Just like awesome upbringing. Like super super grateful, and like yeah, I try every day not to take it for granted because I can see like the slippery slope.
That makes a big difference in the life of a human, you know.
Yeah.
Loving parents,
Yeah.
you know.
It's
That's
key,
the foundation.
bro. It's
you
so
know?
the foundation, bro.
It is the foundation.
It is crazy, and yeah, I mean that's a whole rabbit hole we can go through. It's like you know, both parents in the household versus single versus whatever. Like that's a whole thing. But yeah, I mean I think it's something. Seeing it emulated in my house is something that I really want to secure in my own life. And like when I choose to raise kids, like yo, we're both gonna be here. We're gonna figure out how this works and make this happen, man.
Yeah, and
It's
I
huge.
think, you know, not to go down that debate, but
Sure.
I commend all the single parents, but I think a child is
easy.
meant to be raised by
Yeah.
two people, you know.
Exactly. And it's definitely possible. And it's like, you know, in single parent households, kids can develop well. It's very much possible. But from what I've seen, the data shows like, like
It's a
best chance.
It's a 24-hour job, you know. You can't just have
Dude.
one person doing.
No.
You can't work 24 hours a day anywhere.
Exactly.
You know, that's why you need to
man.
do shifts.
Right, exactly. You make it part time and take half the
make
day
it
off.
part-
Like,
yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah, dude, I love that, man. That's awesome. Especially if you have 8 brothers, siblings.
but the great thing about 8 kids is that at a certain point, they start taking care of each other.
Ah,
You
that
know,
makes sense.
All
They
you
keep
gotta
each other
struggle with
occupied.
is the first couple of kids.
Yep.
After that, you know,
They
you
make
got
up.
babysitters.
That's
you got,
genius.
Yeah.
That's genius,
Because at
bro.
the end, you know, by the 3rd or 4th kid, you know,
Right.
there's really not much you do as a parent other than
Right.
like, hey,
Yeah.
go give your brother a bath. You know,
Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
go change your brother's diapers. You know?
I love that. I love that.
So it's not as well. It's hard work. I'm not.
Yeah, of
I'm sure if
course,
my
of
mom
course.
hears me saying
Right,
that.
right.
But you know, as you know, siblings also start taking care of.
Yeah. They
It's
become
good to-
parents by proxy.
Exactly. You know, you have sisters. I'm
Yeah.
sure you know
Exactly, man.
you help raise them at some point. You know, it's
Yeah.
just part of being a family. It's a unit.
That's
you know.
It's a unit. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So.
I love that, man. Well, yeah, man. You'll have to start vlogging soon.
Man, I just need to start doing it, but you know, I've been thinking a lot about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Have you been
just-
watching like a lot of people on like YouTube and stuff?
I have.
Yeah.
I have actually. I think I haven't seen any TV shows this week other than just watching travel blogs.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Let's go, bro. So you're like real serious about this.
Oh yeah. You
Okay.
know, just
I love
you know,
that.
we're just talking about Colombia. You know,
Yeah.
I've been watching this dude who's been traveling across the world. You know,
Mhm.
spent some time in Colombia. Just the type of experiences that he's, he had the chance to live. You know, I think everybody should travel at least at some point in their lives.
Outside of the country.
Outside of their environment.
Yeah.
I mean, I say I'm traveling still, even even though this
Yeah.
is home, but it
Right.
it is. I still have another home.
Exactly.
But yeah, just there's so much you learn traveling that you will never learn from books, from watching, TV.
Exactly.
Um, it
Not
just
even learning about like the outside world, but like learning about yourself.
about yourself, exactly.
Yeah. It's
Learning
like,
about
whoa, I
yourself.
reacted this way in this situation. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then you find yourself surprising yourself. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I could be this patient.
Exactly.
I didn't know that I would adapt this quickly.
Right.
And then you just became more and more of an optimist. You have a more positive outlook on life.
Yeah.
At least for me, that's what it's developed in me as I've been living here as a American.
Right. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. That's one of the things that, like, having gone to Thunderbird, like going to school there, I think that was one of the biggest things that I appreciated about it. Was like 70% of our class was international students, and so I kind of had this international experience that exposed me to different cultures and different languages and different foods, and like the way that people live is so differently. Like, I'm really, really grateful for that, and it causes that curiosity of like, what else is out there, like what more. And I think it's kind of starts this like never-ending cycle of like, I want to experience it all. And so I'm super, super grateful for that. And I think what it helps is like you ultimately get this sense of empathy for other people and like understanding, and it's like it just makes you sort of this better human.
Exactly.
In general.
You do, and what's happening around the world also hits you more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Because for example, what's happening in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the chance to travel and then people from Ukraine,
Right.
you've been in that culture, it hits you more than the average person who's never
Exactly.
been or who's only seen it on the TV from time to
Right.
time.
Yeah, in the news, you get your news about Ukraine, versus like a visceral experience of having actually like walk the streets. Yeah, that is interesting. Like, there's like a piece of you that leaves wherever you go.
Everywhere you go, it becomes part of you.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's just not every experience. I feel like, especially when it comes to traveling, good or bad.
Yeah.
It becomes part of you.
I love that, man. I love that. What's something that you've like not miraculously, but what's something that like you're really proud of yourself for being able to overcome over the course of your journey?
I mean, just I feel like everything. Like I said, coming from an environment where both of your parents have no formal education. My mom and dad, can't read or write. Going through grade school without ever getting help with homework.
Jeez.
Relying on yourself.
Yeah.
From day one. Pushing yourself through grade school, through middle school, through high school, while you see your friends dropping out.
Yeah.
And graduating high school in a country where the graduation rate is like less than 9%. That's how crazy it is.
That's wild. What?
And going to college, being a first generation in your family to go to college, being first generation in your family to get a master's degree,
right?
Being first generation in your family to work in an American educational institution,
right?
Sometimes I walk into places or into venues where I know for a fact that these people grew up privileged.
Yeah.
But they'll never know
right.
the struggle or what I had to face to be where they are. And being able to fit in, being able to hold on my own. When you're around people who maybe have had a lot more opportunities in life than you, You know, people maybe have had gone to private schools who had tutors, you know, who had help with homework at home. Um, you know, I've always had even class materials, you know. Sometimes you need a book. You can't get it because you can't afford
it, right?
You know, things like that.
Yeah.
So having gone through all these struggles, but still, you know, making it an environment where people are a lot more privileged.
Right. Do you think that gives you like an upper hand, like that chip on your shoulder? Is like I'm gonna beat you at this.
In a sense, but also what it does, I feel like it also humbles me. You know, it also makes me feel like if I'm able to overcome this, I can overcome anything. So in a sense, it gives you an advantage. But also in a sense, sometimes when you talk to people like, these guys have no idea what I've been through.
Exactly. And then that has to be just mad frustrating because it's like the ignorance to not have the empathy of like understanding.
Or, you know, even if it is not, I wouldn't say it's ignorance, just lack of awareness. But also the way I look at it is like, that's, like I said, that's, you know, an advantage for me. You know, I see people worrying about things. I was like,
why are you worried about that?
Like, you know, in my previous job, some people, I remember one of my ex-colleagues coming to me like, dude, how come like you're always so positive? Is this thing not stressing you out when you're talking about something very specific? I was like, no, why are you worried about this?
Right.
You know,
it's going to play out as it needs to.
It's going to play out as it needs to. You know, there are a lot of other things that I can worry about that would make this thing that I'm not discounting that your experience, but in the grand scheme of things, to me, it is insignificant. It's not something that you should worry about.
Right. That's awesome, man. That's really cool, bro. Yeah. That's really cool. What's been something that you've struggled with lately, like as of late? Professionally, personally, what have you?
I think professionally things are overall going well. You know, I work with a great team, very understanding people. So I don't really have a lot of struggles, you know, other than just sometimes being extremely busy in my professional life. But, you know, on more personal level, it's more just a matter of, you know, thinking, you know, about what's next. You know, I've been here for coming up 14 years in the U.S. What's next? You know, am I going to spend the rest of my life here? I'm going to go somewhere else. What's next? You know, I've been here, like I said, 14 years. But sometimes it still doesn't feel like home because maybe is it because that I don't have a home here? I don't have a family here. In a sense, I still feel like an outsider despite of all this time being here.
Like socially?
I mean, like socially, I think I have a very good social fabric.
For sure.
I think I'm fitting in well.
Yeah.
But just deep down, I just feel like it still doesn't feel like home. You know. I don't know what would change that. Is it maybe having kids here? Is it maybe having a wife here? Is it maybe having, I don't know, like a significant other here? I don't know what it would take. But to this day, I just sometimes feel like I'm still, it's still not home.
You're not in it.
I'm not in it, you know, like, even if you know, you've been to my apartment. No, I don't think you've been to my new apartment.
Not the new one.
You know, it took me like 6 months to unpack some of the, you know, boxes. It's all, you know, you walk in, you feel like, is this guy planning to
like what's
to
going
go
on
somewhere?
Here? Like what's going on here?
Or like the other day at the office, my boss came in like, you know, when I look at your office, I get the impression that you're not planning to stay. Because I didn't decorate.
You didn't decorate it, yeah, exactly.
Let me get some plants, let me get some pictures.
Exactly.
And then I started decorating after that.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm weak, right?
I just feel like I've always been like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what will change that.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually.
Yeah.
But I think that's where I'm at. That's something that I've been struggling with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the biggest thing is like awareness of that, right? Is like understanding, like, you know, and assessing like, what do I want? Where am I going to get it from? And like putting those systems in place. But it sounds like it'll be like you'll know it when you see it type situation.
I think so. I think it's just a matter of knowing. Like you said, I'll know when I see it. But just so far, I just feel like I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Do you think you'll keep working here for the time being?
Yeah, for the time being, you know, that's the hope and that's the plan. You know, we back home we say that you're always making plans for yourself, but God is also making plans for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, I know what kind of plans I have in mind, but I don't know what you know, the higher being has for me.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. Is there anything I can do to be a better friend?
I think you've been doing great, man. You know, just being there.
Yeah.
You know, always being so ready to help. You know, anytime I need something, and you know, just having a listening ear. Sometimes that's all you need, you know, just somebody to bounce off ideas on. You know?
Right, exactly, man. Making sure I'm not going crazy.
Yeah, like, am I overthinking this?
Yeah, exactly, man. Because I'll spend so much time, bro, in here, right, in this like 1-bedroom apartment, just like milking and stuff, and I'm just like,
it's so easy to be lost in your thoughts in this society, man. Like,
it's crazy.
Back home, like you're always surrounded by people.
Right.
You never have time for yourself.
Exactly.
But here you're like all the time alone sometimes, you know, it's so easy to overthink, and that's probably why, like I said, people worry about things that they shouldn't worry about. But
very true.
Because you have so much time by yourself.
Yeah, man. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming through, bro.
Thanks for having me, man. This has been fun.
Man. Yeah, no, it's really good.
It's a lot less more pressure than I thought.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I know. You know, people, the sense of you comes across on camera, right? It's like oftentimes what happens, and so I find that like, you know, I can kind of ask these
what
questions.
Camera? Is that a camera?
Exactly. Yeah, there's multiple. Yeah,
I just feel like we're at press coffee just talking like we always do, you know. But it's been fun.
Good, definitely. Man. Well, I appreciate it, man. Well, is there any like last words that you wanna share to the folk? You know, any tidbits of information? Like you get like a little panel right here of like, what does your sentence say? You know?
My panel.
Yeah, you get a little bored.
Keep grinding.
Hey, I love it, bro. On that note, I love it.
Keep grinding my people.
Keep grinding my people. I love it. Well, yeah, again, man, I appreciate you coming through.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you guys for tapping in, staying until the end and watching what this conversation was about, man. I really hope that you were able to get something from it. But with that being said, man, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Please make sure to like, subscribe, follow. All the links and such are down in this description. And with that being said, man, this is the Element Podcast. My name is Askia. This is
Abou Toure.
And we want to wish you the best of days. Peace
out.
I love it, man. Dude, I appreciate you, dude.
All right, man. This was fun, man.
It's good, isn't it, man? I love it.
So much less pressure.